Okay, I'm here and I'm actually starting my live stream a little bit early because I started an interaction with a person online about communicating and asking questions and that. And I found somebody on a religious site via Facebook chat, and I was talking with them about aspects of, finding out if it was okay to actually get online and ask them questions. And it seems to be the person I'm talking to seems to be okay about it. And I just been talking to them a little bit to find out, again, that specific reason about being able to chat. And they said it was okay. So now I started that, and I'm actually going to start up my Voodoo Ninja, because there I can have them actually come in line. Let's talk. Don't care about that. Enter the room's control center. Don't care. I'm going to move this over here so that way if I see anybody join, I can see them joining without having to go back and forth. And I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to go to my YouTube channel and ask questions or set up something. Let's see. YouTube Studio. And content. And live. And go in here. And I'll just put in here. Okay. Saving that. Okay, so if anybody does see this online and they do want to chat, they can chat. Okay. Oh my God, I think I deleted that. Damn. Facebook. Okay, so this is still going. Let's see if she's there. The last statement that the person made had indicated that it appeared that they were okay to continue chatting, but they have not stated anything after my last comment, so hopefully they do and are okay. So I guess we'll wait here and see. And if anybody gets online and joins, that'll be great. I'm going to put that in here too. Just putting in the, YouTube live chat, the URL for the direct communication or online communication system I use. It looks like she might have went away, which is kind of like a bit strange because it was giving me the impression that she was still there. Well, I can get in the aspect of her statement that she made, which would have been along the lines of my first question, which is, why do you believe in God? And she stated here that she believes that each of us are created, so there has to be a creator, and that he lovingly created us in his image with characteristics like curiosity. Okay, so her feeling is that human beings are created, and she concludes there has to be a creator. So I'm wondering if she's going to get back to me, because she talked to me for a few minutes and then stopped talking to me. I'm not sure why. Huh. Very interesting. This is another site that I found. I was talking to somebody on this site too, and they said that they were okay with talking. I don't know if I'm going to get the same person back, but I'm going to wait a couple more minutes to see if this person does get back, because they gave me the impression that they were going to continue the chat, and all of a sudden they disappeared. Hmm. Hmm. Just to let you know, I've been searching for places where I could find people who chat. I did find a bunch of sites. A couple of them, well, this one with the Messenger, that was just a site that was connected to Messenger. But the majority of the sites I found were not very flexible, or not really centered around actually a live chat as much as they were more into a preaching kind of setup. I did find that this organization on Discord, this is a site that actually has religious people talking, and I connected to them, but there's an aspect of seeing, yeah. See, I still don't have access to the Discord site, so that's not giving me access. And I was going around to see if there was other places to chat online with. And let's just go through and see if there's any more other places. Billy Graham, Peace with God. I wonder if this is the one that I connected, because I can see they have a Messenger, WhatsApp, and live chat. I don't use WhatsApp, and I don't know anything about live chat. Is that okay, it's not the same one. I wonder if this is the same one that was on Messenger. Let's see. Okay. So, Peace with God chat. Peace with God chat. Okay, so that's the one I actually connected to originally. And I don't know if I actually have that one on my YouTube. Sorry, I'm just getting myself organized. Let's go move these two somewhat out of the way. I don't know why this online Excel doesn't work very good. Peace with God. Okay, so that was there, up there. So I did have that one there. And chat, now I don't have that one there. Okay. Discord. It doesn't look like she's getting back with me. Let's see if she's on here. Live chat. Big, so let's just like a chat. And asking for my email, and I'm going to use my Gmail that I use for this particular activity. Let's talk. Info. Let's chat. Put that in there. Start chatting. Oh, bye. Okay, so it looks like I can at least use that, and looks like they came right back right away, so that's a good thing. So, okay. Okay. I'm just asking them whether they believe in God again, and I'm going to assume she's going to reply like she's above, but it'll start me to the point of being able to look at it and see things as it scrolls along and keep track of what's been said. It's unfortunate she didn't want to join me directly because that would have been easier, as it would have been a more one-on-one kind of communication, but she didn't seem to be flexible, I guess, in that manner. I guess maybe because maybe they're keeping track of this communication so that way they can do evaluation maybe of it later on. Okie dokie. She looks like she disappeared again. A little bit annoying. Okay, so there's something here I can look at while I wait for her to respond. 262.33. Okay, they're up. Nope. Nope. Say that you were brought up religious. EOUS. IOUS. I always think it's EUS, but it's IOUS, religious. Okay. Get an impression she's doing other things as she's carrying on this conversation. She appears to not be quickly responding to my questions, so we'll just let her continue again. We started this conversation, so I'm not going to get hyper about it and stuff like that. And I'm just going to look at some other stuff. As you probably realized, I've actually got other stuff that I'm doing too that is somewhat on the side here, but it's actually quite important to me, so I'm spending time focusing on it. Okay, that's good. Not good. Not good. Okie dokie. It's too bad. And what's the market like? Market shows that it's up a little bit. I'm almost saying that. Yes, I'm talking stocks. That's the other thing that I do. I actually trade during the daytime. Oh, it's interesting. Comes up in the Windows notepad or notes thing. I did. He met me early at the age of 5. I invited Jesus to be the person in charge of my life, so I was young, and I gathered understanding and grew in my faith as I got older. But kids are sometimes the ones who really are closest to God. They're childlike in their faith, and I was as well. I just believed him, and I started reading the Bible when I could read. It was alive to me. The words in it would shift my perspective on things. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to read it because I don't think it actually is coming up that clearly on the thing. Of course, I'm looking at it as a drop down in OBS, so I don't know if it's clear, but I'm just going to say what I'm writing to her now. So I'm saying, so it sounds like God has been active throughout your life. And good thing I'm reading again because I'm spelling incorrectly. But I do want to ask, as you got older, I don't know why older showing up as an error. Okay, they're showing as I don't know, this AI, it seems like it has a overwhelmingly active, grammar checking mechanism that it seems to like to split your statements almost regularly without understanding the aspect of actually how speaking is done. Or unless that actually is the way it's supposed to be done. For me, I never thought about putting that many commas in your sentences, but at least the AI seems to think you do. Anyways, as you got older, were there any questions you had, reactions to people with opinions that were different from yours that caused you to look at things differently? Okay, I like that question. I do have some other questions about the aspects of her explanation of the closeness, I guess you can say, that she's presenting here, the aspect that she's always felt that God was there in her life. You can't close this chat window. I bet, can you? Chat's 4 in red. Yeah. Okay, I've got some more stuff here, and I didn't mean to do that. Okay. 294. Excuse me. Okay, that's good. Nope. Nope. Okay. I'm being a bit more careful with stocks that I'm looking at because of the turmoil that's occurring in the United States with respect to Trump's activity that he's doing, hitting a big impact on the stock industry, and I'm just not going to be a little bit. Usually, in general, I'm a little bit flexible and a little bit more taking risk, but nowadays I think that's just too risky. Okay, so she says, "Oh gosh, yes." Fast forward to, let's say, age 16. Well, that actually is not fast forwarding. In high school, not many friends wanted anything to do with Jesus. It wasn't cool to believe in him, so I got dumped. That's when I met the Holy Spirit. He came into my life with an empowerment I hadn't known before. I was feeling pretty alone in my faith journey, and God met me again. I was never the same. I went from feeling really outstood, rejected by my peers, fellow friends, to closer to God than I have ever been before. I respect everyone for their own opinion, but I guess I'm feeling knowing that I have something very real. Okay. Okay. So I'm asking another question. And it is you. And why is this an error? Apparently, it requires a colon. What? Okay. My grammar is not that good, so I don't know if these things are correct or not correct, just that the AI seems to be finding them. But again, from my experience in school, this grammar seems to be hardcore with respect to following things extremely heavily. Anyways, my question to her is, after her okay, I should read what she said because I didn't. Or did I? Okay, I'm going to read it again. If I did read it, I'm sorry, I'm going to read it again. Oh gosh, yes. Fast forward to, let's say, age 16 in high school. Not many friends wanted anything to do with Jesus. It wasn't cool to believe in him, so I got dumped. That's when I met the Holy Spirit. He came into my life with empowerment I hadn't known before. I was feeling pretty alone in my faith journey, and God met me again. I was never the same. I went from feeling really ousted, rejected by my peers, friends, to closer to God than I had ever been before. I respect everyone for their own opinions, but I guess I'm feeling knowing that I have something very real. Okay, and so like if I reread it, I apologize for that. I was thinking that as I was just going through it, I think I may have read it in my mind and may have not said it out loud. And if I didn't, I apologize for that too. Again, for my question, just to reiterate that, you have brought up a couple of times a somewhat interactive relationship with God, and that does make me want to ask this question. What did you mean when you said he met me early at the age of 5? Just to get the aspect of saying, there's a lot of times you see this aspect of where religious people talk about a very interactive association, I guess, with a God in quotation marks. I don't want to make the think that people think those I'm taking the aspect of saying someone go, this God must be there because she's interactive. For me, it's the aspect of saying she's stating the fact that she actually had a very interactive relationship with a God. And I kind of wonder, what does she mean by that? Peace, what? Okay, yeah, this is just the thing there. So I'm kind of wondering, and I think this is a woman. I am actually not sure. I am Laura. Okay. Because I'm saying, am I talking to a woman or a man? I'm thinking, I think I'm talking to a woman because I could have swore she said her name, and she did. Right at the beginning, she said her name, and her name is Laura. Okay, so I'm just going to complete with that the aspect of she made the statement that she actually has, and again, multiple statements that she made, a very close relationship with a God and a somewhat interactive explanation. And I'm kind of wondering, what was it in her life that made her feel that close to a God? Again, this is a very interactive relationship with a somewhat being that's invisible, if you can think about it, because all the descriptions of God is the aspect of, for one thing, you supposedly are not able to see him, not able to look at him, and a lot of times he's not even there. In the explanations and descriptions, you hear theists and people in the religious line of thought, the way they describe him. So I'm kind of thinking, how is she going to explain this? That's what I'm asking here. Last words. Is that something from a religious person? Okay, that's... Okay. Oops. Excuse me. Just going through the other site that I found where I did find someone who did say that they were okay talking. And again, this is the type of communication I actually want to have with the religious people, is I just want to get the understanding from their perspective of why this is to them a real thing. And as you can see from the explanations this person has given, this is real to her. She's explaining this as a very real kind of relationship, conceptually how she understands this supernatural being, what it means to her. You know, this is to me, this is the part that's the questions that I have is, how can someone believe what they believe? And the whole aspect is, I can get into the aspect that says, well, yeah, but that's not a real thing. God has never been proven to be real. That's not going to be good for them because they're going to say, it's real to me. And I don't care what you think. This is what I think. And I'm not so much concerned with the aspects of trying to debate them into trying to prove the authenticity of the statements they're making. To me, it's more interesting to understand how they came into the belief of a God. What makes them feel that way? And you can see from here, she said she was raised in a religious family. It sounded like it wasn't heavily religious, but it was religious. And there may have been things that have happened in her life but it could have been something, maybe something traumatic happened to her that maybe made her feel that that was something that was beneficial for her, something that made her feel good. And it was just something that allowed her to continue on with her life and move forward and feel better about herself. Oh, I should have something here because I think of things and my memory's not that good because I'm getting older in life and my memory is worse than it used to be, and my memory was never very good. So, excuse me. Oh, wow. I believe we as humans have a spirit. We're body, soul, and spirit. So my spirit and he, God, interacted when he invited me to know him by believing in and receiving. I'll say this a little bit louder because I know I'm speaking a bit low. So I'm going to restart that. I believe we as humans have a spirit. We're body, soul, and spirit. So my spirit and he, God, interacted when he invited me to know him by believing in and receiving his son Jesus. I responded yes by praying, and he met me by placing his spirit into me. Can I give you a Bible verse, or is that too much? John 14:26, the Helper, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, he will teach you all things and bring to your remembrance all that I have said to you. We are like God containers, so he started a lifelong live inside me relationship. I can hear him, feel him, etc. Okay. Thank God for spell checker, eh? In the days, like I remember, we never had anything like this in the old days, and you had a dictionary beside you, or you made a lot of spelling mistakes, or you were a good speller. I was not. Thanks for explanation. Okay, so I'm just going to state my question here. So it would be something internal then, conceptually internal, not physical. Thanks for the explanation. Another question that came to mind and was something based on the intensity I am seeing in your responses. Was there something traumatic in your life that was a trigger for you becoming religious or more religious? Excuse me. Again. And I can put this over here because I don't need to see my face on the screen, so I can hide my face. And nobody's joining my live chat, which is too bad. It would be nice if someone got online and said, hey, I can see this guy's doing a live chat with somebody. La 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 la. Don't know why I'm thinking that song. I do that song, but I'm in the back of my mind I'm thinking of the thumping song. So when you're thinking, I know I'm just humming it because I can't remember the words to songs, so I can pretty much only go by the that word you use when you describe the actual sound of the song, and not so much the not the lyrics, because again, no. Well, that was short. Okay. She said no. Thanks. It's not obviously very active in general because it's obviously via chatting, but it's something that I could do. It's something that I've done, and this is technically my first chat of my channel. My channel is all based around the aspects of having communication with other people about topics, and I haven't been able to get anybody to at least give me the I won't be offended, Peter. I see your genuineness of heart. I wanted to tell you earlier while I was walking the dog that because you don't like to label people, as you said, it reminds me again of a godlike characteristic that you have, being made in his image. You give people the benefit of doubt and don't want to put them in boxes, so you truly see them lots to folks and don't see them. Okay. Okay. Oh, I don't have. Okay, so I'm going to this other channel, and I did find someone on here when I was connecting to initially for to get a understanding of people, or if people would like to join. Okay, so I'm just asking this person, and it's not the same person I was talking to previously. So I'll leave it at that. Just asking this person here, and he's saying they don't do that, but the previous person I talked to said it was okay. I don't like this. This person saying it's not possible. Just see what he says, because I don't like it when one person says one thing and another person says something different. Okay. Wasn't disconnected by me. See if it's the same guy. Could be that the person maybe who was there. Maybe there's only one person online. and he's just not. This is somewhat. I don't want to use an offensive word, but to be honest, this is somewhat aggravating because people on the religious side are very prophetic about their beliefs and the aspects of the necessity to believe, and in light wanting to have other people follow what they follow. And a lot of times when I interact, not that I've done a lot of lines with these online type stuff, but a lot of other sites that I did see with respect to had the chatting kind of like mechanism in place, the very first thing that you get is a preaching operation. And I'm thinking, okay, they're probably just doing the normal standard kind of things that particular organization does, which is saying, here, we're going to talk about the gloriousness of, God and all the things that go along with that, and just stipulated basically a starting point for that, and expecting people who obviously are interacting with them are actually looking at it in that light. Now I'm coming to them, I'm saying, I'm not here for that, but can I talk to you? And I would like them to be open, and I would like them to accept the fact that they can talk with somebody who may ask questions that may be difficult to answer. And as you saw in my last communication that I had with Laura off of Messenger, some people probably would be offended by the questions I was asking, and they were questions just to get clarity. They were not questions about how can you, why do you, when this it wasn't a combative interaction. It was a question process to get clarification of why somebody does what they do. And I know a lot of times religious people don't like that, and that's a little bit distressful, I guess. As you sit there and say to yourself, well, I would like to talk to you about reasons why you do what you do. Now, I know there's a lot of people on my side, the atheists, if you want to say that term, that are a bit more aggressive. And a lot of times, especially the ones you see online, like on YouTube specifically and such, where they talk about the aspects of why they're aggressive. And it's because of something along the lines of what I initially stated, which is the aggressiveness that they feel from the atheist side is such that they only feel that the way they can actually interact is in a somewhat aggressive fashion too. Not saying that that's good or bad, just saying that's the way things go. And as we can see, it seems like this organization is not going to interact with me. I'm guessing that that person who I talked to initially is probably seeing that I'm trying to reconnect, and he just will not interact with me, so he just does not connect with me. So we're going to leave it there. We actually had a good amount of time to actually spend chatting with the person on Messenger. I forget actually the site that she came from. It was what again? Peace with God. It was this site. They're called Peace with God. So that's the site, and I just connected to them through Messenger, Facebook Messenger, and I think I had a decent chat with the person that was there. And again, as you can see, my communication process is not to be aggressive, it's not to be offensive, it's not to be argumentative, it's to ask questions to get an understanding of why. I'm not here to debate somebody about why they're right, or excuse me, why they're wrong and why I'm right. This is an aspect of a activity that's being done from a person's perspective on the way that they're looking at it. And I'm not here to point out that they're doing something wrong. They should actually take a look at better life, that they should understand things. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want them to feel bad. I want them to feel that, hey, there's a person here who just wants to understand where I'm coming from. To me, that's way more important for understanding how things are, how people are in general, than to be interacting with them in a very, combative means that, for the most part, in the end, it's not going to change anything. I'm not expecting people to change their opinions of stuff. So I don't want to try. So this is what this is all about. So you saw the first time for me to actually interact with people. And I think I'm going to maybe try to do this a little bit more often. So maybe the next few days I'll just do that and see where things can go. And I still don't have permissions to... yeah, this is not what I know. Thing I don't like about Discord is it's sometimes hard to see where things are at. I asked this person and they never got back yet. I did see that after I did review, there was some sort of process, and it was just a bunch of questions. So this is the aspect of how can I join? And all my questions were honest. Now we're going to see, and I'm going to review this with you guys because I want this to be not just me going. I want you to see if there's any kind of response that gives that aspect of difficulty with respect to interacting with people who may not follow your way of looking at things. And I want to see what kind of response I get from this Discord channel. This Discord channel is needgod.net friends. So that's at least the aspect of how it shows up on Discord. Okay, I'm going to leave things there. I want to thank you for watching. Nobody interacted. Nobody came online, so nobody obviously decided to join my chat. And we'll leave it like that. So again, thank you very much, and I'll say bye. No, don't want to hit chat. Stop streaming. Stop.